Welcome to the African Treasures Youth Forum. I'm Adora, Okeke, your host. The Youth Forum focuses on issues that concern youth of African descent all over the world. This episode is jointly produced by the Nigerian Television Authority and Canopy Corporation. Our topic today is teenage mothers, and my guest is the lovely Vita Roots.
Hi.
Welcome, Vita.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Can you briefly introduce yourself?
My name is Vita Roots. I'm 20 years old. I attend Georgia State University. I'm a marketing and finance double major in my junior year. I enjoy school. I'm in the process of transferring, though, to the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York to pursue fashion design and marketing.
Cool. Now, Vita, you're on here because you were a teenage mother.
I am.
What age did you give birth to your daughter?
I gave birth to my daughter when I was 17, a month before my 18th birthday. I had a good time. It wasn't as traumatic as the baby story that most people see on TV with 25 hours of delivery. My delivery went really well. I was asleep. I was watching Dexter's Laboratory. My water broke. And I didn't feel any of my contractions. They were off the charts, but I was doing okay. I slept through most of them. I woke up. My water broke. They rushed me into the next room. They kept telling me to wait, but I couldn't. I had my daughter in 45 minutes from the time my water broke to it was all over with. They had to grab a man out the hallway to deliver her because my doctor was doing something else.
Oh.
And she came in with a Coca-Cola 2 hours later, and I was already transferred to a new room. So everything went really well. I had a really positive delivery. Everything went great.
What's your daughter's name?
My daughter's name is Skyelle Marie Page.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about, before you gave birth to her, about your pregnancy and your relationship with your daughter's father?
Me and her father have been in a relationship for 5 years, April 29th. Our relationship is constantly evolving and changing, and getting pregnant and going through, I guess, the mindset of knowing that you're going to always be connected, whether you like it or not, it puts a toll on your relationship. And we never went through a make-up, breakup thing. We never have broken up. We've been together consistently for 5 years, which I think has helped us as we are building our lives in the same path and same direction to give a better life for our child. My pregnancy was easy. I got pregnant in about November, December of my senior year. I had no problems at school. I'm a small person and remained small all through my pregnancy. It wasn't obvious to the people at school, which wasn't a problem with me. I was an officer in the student government, president of Ladies of Distinction, and double magnet. I was involved in everything. So when everyone at school did find out, it was a big shock. But
how did they react?
Some people more positive than others. I didn't try to hide anything like a lot of other students at the school did. I was very open. If you asked me a question, I was available to answer it. I had one bad, I guess it would be an altercation one day in the library. This girl says, "I think it's improper that certain members of the student government are pregnant." I'm like, certain members? And then I asked her, and she's like, "I just think that it's improper." And I said, "Well, I would have appreciated if you just would have come to me and say that." But I feel like in high school, a lot of people get pregnant. Not everyone has their child, but a lot of people do get pregnant. There's a high abortion. There's people who don't have any plan for their lives and don't plan on taking care of their children. And I wasn't like that. And I just wanted to let her know that I have a plan and everything will be okay.
So what was your initial reaction when you found out you were pregnant?
I was more concerned about my mother. It's like, dang, our mom, she's going to hear this and she's going to kill me. But my mother was by far more supportive than I would ever expect anyone to be. My mother quit her job She opened up a 24-hour daycare so that when my daughter got of age, she would have free childcare. My mother has added on to her house so that my family can live with my family, but my new family can live with my old family. She's been excellent. She's been so strong to me. And because of that, I've been allowed to continue and pursue my career and my dreams so that I can be, a full person and show my daughter that despite issues, you can still live a life worth living.
Now, what was her reaction? What did she say initially?
What do you want to do? That was her first words. What do you want to do? Because there's so many options, and my mother does not support one or the other. I'm sure she had high hopes for me, and I'm most positive she was disappointed. But more so than anything, she wanted to know, what do I plan on doing? How do I want to go about this? Am I ready to be a parent? Am I ready to try to be a parent? And how do I need her to help me?
How about the Skylar Marie? Is that her name?
Skyel Marie?
Skyel Marie. What about her father? What was his reaction?
He was scared. He was really scared. He never has had a relationship to where it ever thought it would be serious. So he was very frightened on how to react to being a father, how I would change. I guess he's heard horror stories of pregnant women and the things that they do. But he's taken it in stride. He's a great father, and he's much more of a disciplinarian than I am.
We'll be right back with more of Teenage Parenting.
In these times of chaos and confusion, the system pushes obscurity and illusion. They got the poor living in such a mess, destroying their love with unnecessary stress. I said enough things is going on. It's rough. The system making it rough on eyes, tough. The tough get going well. I say rough. It gets rough, so don't let the system get you down. You're feeling down low, cause you're covered in your neighbor. Plagued with thoughts of feeling inferior, and troubling your heart with egos and vanity. But I tell you, sir, no, those ways won't bring prosperity. I said enough things is going on. It's rough. The system making it rough on eyes, tough. The tough get going, whoa. I say it's rough. It gets rough, so don't let the system get you down. Sit up on the stool of do nothing. My God gave me life for the living. I say, give thanks and praise and keep the love spreading. The dead's gonna bury the dead, and the living, yes, they shall be fed. I said enough things is going on. It's rough. The system making it rough on eyes, tough. The tough get going, whoa. I say it's rough. It gets rough, but don't let the system get you down. In these times of chaos and confusion, in these times of chaos and confusion, they got our brothers, they got our sisters, they're in a mess, destroying their love with unnecessary stress. I said enough things is going on. It's rough. The system making it rough on eyes, tough. The tough get going, whoa, I say it's rough, rough, rough. It gets rough, but don't let the system get you down. Don't let the system get you down. Don't let the system get you down. It's rough, rough.
Welcome back to the African Treasures Youth Forum. I'm Adora Okeke, your host. The Youth Forum is jointly produced by Nigerian Television Authority and Canopy Corporation. Our topic is teenage parenting, and my guest is Vida Roots. Welcome back, Vida.
Thank you.
All right, we just finished talking about what you went through when you first found out you were pregnant, your pregnancy, and your delivery. And you ended with talking about your child's father, whose name is Corey. Now, can you tell us about his family and what they went through, if you can?
His mother seemed to be excited that he was going to have, that she was going to have another grandchild, because she's crazy about grandkids. And she only had a grandson, so this would be the first granddaughter that she would have. And she's been really supportive. I guess it's been kind of hard for her because this is her youngest son, and he's the one that really takes care of her. Like, she was sick, and he was the one that took her to the doctor, and he was the one that, carried her around wherever she needed to go. And to know that someone else was in his life that was more serious, because I guess he never really introduced a girlfriend to her. So I was like the first one, and then a couple of years later, oh, she's pregnant too. So I think she kind of felt I was pushing in on her a little bit. But we've gotten a lot closer as time has gone by, and I think Skyel has helped a lot with that. Skyel has also helped with my relationship with my mother. We were always close, but I guess as a teenager, you kind of rebel, and you have your days when you're just like, I can't stand you, and you can't stand me. But we have nothing but good days now. We don't argue, we don't fight. Everything goes well. I guess she's kind of the happy ending, I guess. I don't know. She works out well.
So, how was life after you gave birth to Skyel? Right after
was overwhelming. It was very overwhelming. I decided to breastfeed, and she didn't want to act right. It wasn't happening. She's like, I don't want to do it. She had a hard time, and I cried because that was something that was really important to me, and she wasn't cooperating. After a couple of days, she finally came around, and it was wonderful. I didn't want her to leave the room. I didn't want anyone to touch her. I just wanted to sit there with her all the time, just look at her. I didn't want her dad to touch her. It just wanted to be me. And then now she can just leave, and it doesn't bother me as much, but at first it was really hard. Mm-hmm. And I was very prepared, fortunately. I had everything I needed. I had 3 or 4 of them. I have very supportive friends and family who brought shiploads of stuff to the house. I have Babies R Us in my attic. I have clothes until she turns 5, and she's nothing but 2. And I really have not had to really put out any money towards just about anything. The things really that I buy are just things I wanted to have, but necessities are all covered.
That's really good. So, life after your baby, what about school? What did you do after that? After you gave birth? Because I know you said you were a senior.
Right.
And so you gave birth to her in August after graduation.
Mm-hmm. I took off the first semester of school just to spend time with her and for her to kind of get to know me, because we're like brand new friends. So, because we got acquainted the first semester, and I started school in January. It was really hard to be away from her, but I love being in school. School is a lot of fun. I was a great student in high school, so I was kind of prepared, I guess. At Georgia State, is very open. They sometimes let you bring the kid up their class and everything, so it's a lot of fun. She always wants to come to school with me. But I enjoy Georgia State. It's because it's a non-traditional school, it allows you to kind of build your schedule around your life instead of your life around your schedule.
That's good.
So I can come home, and I only live 15 minutes away, so it doesn't take me long to get home.
That's really good. How has your career and your goals, has anything changed since you had your baby? Everything
changes when you're thinking of someone other than yourself. And if you're a young adult and you're not thinking about having kids, like if you don't have any and you're not thinking about it, you only think of you and what's better for you. But like now, I have a savings account for like private school because I don't necessarily approve of the public school system. So I see myself exerting energy towards things that I would never be doing if I didn't have a kid. Like, what state do I want to move to? What state has the best schools? What state has the best, laws that pertain to me and my child? I think of things like that, and I wouldn't have. And I think that in a certain way limits where you can go. Because let's say I want to move to the place where my career is jumping, but the schools are bad. So you kind of, I think it's a compromise, and with everything in life, you're definitely making a compromise. But if it has to do with your child or your child's education or the health and well-being of your family, I think the sacrifice is definitely worthwhile.
That's good. And I know the child, your daughter's father, is in your life.
Yes.
Which is unfortunately rare for mothers who give birth in high school. And I mean, you actually, you're very rare. Your whole situation with your daughter and your school and your family, this doesn't happen a lot. And that's like,
that can change. I think that could really change. I think if there was more awareness and more, I guess, willing to compromise. No one wants to compromise. The parents are disappointed and they just write the child off instead of really trying to work as a family. And I think that's something that just our people just need to get in tune with, because things happen. But I mean, there's not many parents that'll be like, I'll quit my job. And I'll open up a 24-hour child care, and I'll just make sure that you have child care. Or I'll build onto my house for you so that you can move back home, because I was away. Move back home, and you can be here with us, and we'll help you. Helping. Understanding that, once you get on your feet, everything will be fine, and then you can help me in return. Because as a child, that's what your parents think of you as. I help you till you can help me.
Yes.
So I think everyone needs to understand the importance of that, and there'll be less teen pregnancies in that sense if you have a greater communication and more respect for your parent and what's happening, what they're doing for you. And then if you do get pregnant, understand that things can be okay if you all work together.
Thank you, Vita.
Thanks.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more with Vita, Roots, and teenage pregnancy.
Crack of dawn, she's roaming. City streets, she's combing. Searching high and low for a solution. But I see her, oh Lord, she's headed for corruption, yeah. So I say get it off, shake it off. I gotta get the monkey off your back. I say, oh black woman, stand and walk with pride. Get it off, shake it off. I gotta get the monkey off your back. I say, black woman, get up. Oh, it's time to stand and walk with pride, yeah. Poor black sisters been pushed and shoved. Gonna hit rock bottom, chasing some lost love. Looking for the answer from up above. Oh Lord, they got us sitting. Yes, our children is begging bread. And so all I've got to say is get it off, shake it off. I gotta get the monkey off your back. I say, oh black woman, stand and walk with pride. Get it off, shake it off. You gotta get the monkey off your back, no more folly around. Sell yourself short all around town, yeah. Walking the streets with weeping eyes, 'cause you done caused destruction of your family ties. Wishing, oh you praying, yeah, you could erase the sin. Now you're a pawn in the battle. I say you're losing the war within. So I say get it off, shake it off. Gotta get the monkey off your back. I say, oh black woman, stand and walk with pride. Get it off, shake it off. Gotta Gotta get the monkey off your back, no more folly around. Sell yourself short all around town, yeah. They got you bartering with your earthly possessions, yeah. For a teeny piece of hell to own. Oh, keep heading down that road. I tell you, sister, it'll be you, and the devil sitting alone. So I say, get it off, shake it off. Gotta get the monkey off your back. I say, oh black woman, stand and walk with pride. Get it off, shake it off. Gotta get the monkey off your back. No more folly around. Sell yourself short all around town, yeah. No more folly around. Sell yourself short all around town, yeah.
I'm Adora, Okeke, your host. Welcome back to the African Treasures Youth Forum, jointly produced by the Nigerian Television Authority and Canopy Corporation. This episode can be viewed online 24 hours a day all over the world at www.africantreasuresTV.com. We're talking with Vita Roots about teen parenting. Welcome back, Vita.
Thanks.
Now, we've discussed what you've gone through being a teenage mother and your goals, and also your child's father. Now, what would you say to any girls right now who are pregnant as teenagers? What is your advice to them?
Prepare. Start preparing early. Understand that you can still achieve a lot of your goals. Do not give up, and do not depend on other people to do things for you. If you are open and you let people know what you're trying to do, people will support you and people will help you because they understand that it's not very common that you'd ever want to do anything after you get pregnant. Your life doesn't end. A new life is beginning. And I think you should be more positive in thoughts of that. Share your story. Let people know, I'm working. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying. They'll help you if they see you putting forth the effort. Never give up.
Thanks. Now, what are some misconceptions? And also some things that you see with teenage mothers? Like things that were said to you or that you heard this is before you got pregnant. And actually your own misconceptions. What did you think about girls who got pregnant as teenagers? Did you ever think that would be you?
I never really thought about it at all. It never was anything that... I was really busy. So I really didn't have time for a boyfriend for a long time. So I never really thought about that. I had a lot of friends in high school that got pregnant. I had some that went through with the pregnancies, others that didn't, and I supported them all because I think that a pregnancy is like a choice. If you can handle it, maybe you can't. I kind of let everyone make their own decision on that end. But I had a misconception that things were going to be a lot harder. And for some people, that's not a misconception. For some people, it really is hard. And they're really struggling, and they really have no way. But that was a misconception for me, fortunately. I see a lot of fathers who aren't around, and they give up, like, as soon as it happens. And I haven't had that problem at all. Corey is very supportive, and he will be around, and I'll be around, too. So yeah. I think when you have that kind of friendship and a relationship, that if there is ever a possibility of you getting pregnant, to start off with a friendship and a relationship to where you all trust each other and you're building. Even before I got pregnant, we were building. Even in high school, we said, well, next year we want to do this, and the year after that we want to do that. Just so you can see yourself in that person's life.
What would you say to any girl who's pregnant right now and does not know who the child's father is?
I would definitely say that I think a father is needed in every relationship. Not necessarily your father, but find a father figure for the child. You do not need to be in a relationship with this person. It can be your uncle. It can be the child's grandfather. Just someone there to show that, there's another side to me, another side to life. But don't give up. Work even harder. Push yourself some more. Let the child know that things can be done. You cannot control what other people do. You can never play puppet master to everyone else's life, but to try to structure your life so that your child comes first and your needs come second.
Exactly. So what would you say to girls who are not pregnant?
Take your time. I would definitely advise everyone to try to achieve as much of your life as you can before you decide to have a child, because it's much more of a challenge, because like I said, you're thinking of other people, of another child when you're making all your decisions. Try to make as many of your decisions and achieve as much as you can on your own before, and be safe. I'm definitely an advocate of abstinence, but I guess if you decide you'd like to have sex, be safe and understand that, one method isn't always enough, that you need to cover all your bases so that you don't get pregnant and you don't have to deal with a lot of the issues that can come up if you don't have the right support and you're not ready.
Thank you, Vita, very much for sharing your experiences as a teen mother.
You're welcome.
With this, we bring this show to a conclusion. Please join us again next week with another episode of the African Treasures Youth Forum. Thank you.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the ways of the ungodly, nor shall he stand in the ways of sin, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful man. But his delight is in the laws of Jah, and in those laws he meditates day and night. Well, he should be like a tree planted by the rivers of water so deep. Everything that he does shall prosper, that's the way Jah wants it to be. I say, he should be like a tree planted by the rivers of water so deep. Everything that he does shall prosper, that's the way Jah wants it to be. I say, blessed is that man that walketh not in the ways of the ungodly, nor shall he stand in the ways of sin, nor sit in the seat of the scornful, Just sees us all, the ways of the righteous shall prosper, not fall. The ways of the ungodly shall perish away. I see, just sees us all, the ways of the righteous shall prosper, not fall. The ways of the ungodly shall perish away. I say, blessed is that man that walketh not in the ways of the ungodly, nor shall he stand in the ways of sin, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful man.